Hello, hello, hello. Welcome to the show. This is the Vet and the Rook. Come get your sports fix. This is the shit you don't want to miss. Come here to perspectives and opinions you're not going to get anywhere else. So make sure to tune in every week with us. Get the sports related news that you need. This is your host, Gazim GQ, the vet of the set. And of course, I always got my rookie with me, Issa. You'll be hearing from him shortly. Considering this is the first episode, I kind of want to start off by letting our viewers know that we're going to be doing some giveaways, some prizes, things of that nature, some real cool stuff. So make sure to hit the like and sub button below to make sure you get an alert to know what we're doing. But like I said, we're going to be doing some really cool stuff. We really want to, kind of just give away some stuff away to the fans, people who are really showing us the sport early on. So make sure to tune in, okay? So hey, rookie, looks like he's ready. What we got going on today? How you feeling?
Well, first episode, feeling pretty good.
Feeling good? All right, that's awesome, man. So what we got going? So what's crack-a-lackin'? What's the first topic?
First of all, I'm the real veteran of the show.
Of course.
Since the first episode, I'll let you have that honor. But to get into it, the NBA season just ended, and we're big LeBron James fans and LA Lakers. And there's rumors going around that the LA Lakers might trade to get Chris Paul. What you think about that? Good idea or not?
Oof, Chris Paul, huh? Well, let's not forget Chris Paul was destined to go to LA back in, I think, 2011, if I'm not mistaken, before he went to the Clippers. He was supposed to link up with Kobe Bryant. So it feels like it's due for him to go back to the Lakers, right?
Quick chip with Bron.
Honestly, I think it's a bad idea. There's a lot of negatives go along with it, a lot of positives as well. Things like, really good chemistry. The Banana Boat crew comes to mind, right? LeBron, D-Wade, Melo, and Chris Paul, the good fit in LA. It seems like the stars seem to align to be a perfect match for Chris Paul to be an LA Laker, to be that gold and white, right? Mm-hmm. Gold and purple. I just don't see how it could work out, but we'll get into that a little later, right? But it seems like he'd be a good fit for LeBron. He'd also be that consistent third option, something that they were yearning for all year, especially you saw during the playoffs. It could have been KCP, it could have been Kuzma, Caruso, Danny Green some nights. I mean, you just didn't know who was going to be. Maybe Dwight or JaVale McGree, someone to show you, give you a little bit of juice off the bench. You didn't know who was going to be. Some nights it was a collective effort, but if they thought Kuzma was going to be that third wheel, it didn't really work out that way. He had a good season. I don't want to knock him or take anything away from him, but it didn't work out the way they thought. So I think Chris Paul would bring that consistent third option, a guy that can hit jump shots, place in defense, and make plays when you need it to win you the ball game. To couple off that point, to kind of piggyback off that, him being that third option, he brings that pressure, takes that pressure off LeBron, completely takes that pressure off LeBron. All season you kind of saw him be that Magic Johnson, that point forward, initiating the offense, starting, get everything going. But you don't want it to drain on him, especially him getting older, being 35, going to be 36 this upcoming season. Chris Paul would kind of relieve some of that pressure on him and that stress that he gets bringing the ball up 90 feet.
48 minutes.
48 minutes. He's going to take minutes off for resting, so you definitely want to bring, dial some of that back. So he does that. In addition to that, he's a great upgrade at that position. No knock to Rondo or even Avery Bradley when he was there, but he's a total upgrade. He's a bona fide stud. He's a baller. He's a Hall of Famer when it's all said and done, Chris Paul. So he's definitely upgrade there. So you can see there's some positives, how you can make a case as to why Chris Paul would be a good option for the LA Lakers to trade. But ultimately, I just think the negatives completely and utterly outweigh those positives, which I just named. First and foremost is that contract. That contract is it's great for it's great for Chris Paul, but anyone else, that thing is utterly disgusting.
Yeah.
It is gross to pick it up.
What was the number on that?
I think it was a 4-year, almost $160 million contract.
Sheesh.
He's due almost $42 million a season.
I can't even count that high.
Can you count that high? I'll tell you, I definitely can't count that high.
9 zeros?
It might be 12.
12. Yeah, it's true.
Could be 15 for all I know.
It could be. True. I didn't pass math. But.
Didn't pass math, definitely. Can't even spell algebra.
No.
Okay, that's a lot of money. That's one thing I do know. Like I said, anybody besides Chris Paul is not happy to pick that up, and I think the Lakers would be struggling if they pick that up. I think it would hurt them in the 2020 free agent market. It would definitely hurt them in the 2021 free agent market. They could pick up people like Danilo Gallinari, who would be a good veteran shooter, Bogan Bogdanovic from Indiana, Tim Hardaway Jr., Wesley Matthews. Those guys seem like they could be good fits around LeBron. You saw in the playoffs, especially when the Lakers were shooting the ball well, they won basketball games. Not just won them, they killed their competition when they shot the ball well. Destroyed them most games when they shot the ball extremely well. So those guys would be a great fit. But you won't get them if you trade for Chris Paul, which will empty out, completely deplete the bench, complete everyone there. I mean, Kyle Kuzma is going to be part of those trade, conversations. J.R. Smith, Deion Waiters getting emptied out. Danny Green, 2021, 2022 draft picks, first-round draft picks will be gone. Avery Bradley, I think, is a free agent with a player option. Dwight Howard, J.L. McGee, Rondo, they're all free agents. The bench will be completely depleted if you trade for him. You won't have an option to get those 2020 free agents. You'll miss out on 2021 free agents. People like Drew Holiday, who's a really good all-star point guard, kind of borderline all-star point guard. I personally have a lot of faith, and I think he's a solid player. So Victor Oladipo, who already expressed that he's not going to re-sign in Indiana, and even a vet like JJ Redick. Those guys are all options. I know people think about Giannis, but I don't personally think he's going to come to LA. But those are all options that they're going to miss out on if they take on Chris Paul's contract and then also trade away. And then once that contract expires, you're talking about 37-year-old Chris Paul, who, do you want to resign? You don't know. And now you just gotten rid of your draft picks, your futures, and now you got rid of your bench, and you really have nothing to show for with also aging LeBron. So the contract is the first thing that comes out in my mind. And then something that's arguably as important as the contract is that he's injury prone.
He's injury prone, sure.
For sure. I mean, you've seen it. You saw it in his the LA Clipper days. You go back to 2015, he had the hamstring injury in the playoffs. He ended up playing through that one, but they ended up blowing that 3-1 lead to the Rockets. So you saw it, the injury bothered him then. The very next year, 2016, he breaks a bone in his right hand. And then the Clippers end up losing to Portland when they had a 2-0 lead.
They should have won that series too.
Should have won that, just like they should have won the previous year up 3-1 to the Rockets. Then the very next year, 2017, is his last year, and I think in LA, last year in Clippers, he missed 21 games due to wrist injury. You just see year after year, there's always something. He leaves the Clippers, he goes to Houston. 2018, he missed 29 regular season games, and including, everyone doesn't forget that Game 5 against Golden State with the hamstring injury again, and he ended up missing Game 6. They ended up losing that series. Then now 2019, it was a back injury, I'm not mistaken. So it just seems like it's always something Chris Paul, and it doesn't make it easier that he's getting older. He's 35, he's going to be 36 this upcoming season. It just makes it a tough situation knowing that this guy's constantly getting hurt, and it seems like he's getting hurt when you need him the most in those playoff situations. He comes through when he's healthy, but when you need him the most, he's not there for whatever reason, and it makes it that much more difficult to want to trade for a guy to deplete a bench, a bunch of young guys too, who actually played good this offseason, for a 36-year-old point guard who is injury prone, and it just seems like you're giving up too much. So with all that being said, I just think that the Lakers need to reevaluate, look at their options. If they think that Chris Paul is a good fit and they could really take them to that next level, they've already won a championship. But in my opinion, I think Chris Paul is definitely no-go.
But basically, you're telling me is the LA Lakers shouldn't trade for Chris Paul.
I'll do you one better. What I'm telling you is, if the LA Lakers trade for Chris Paul this offseason, they will not repeat as NBA champions. You can book it, certify it, take it to the bank. That's what we call here in Jersey big facts. Hello. Welcome to the show. This is the Vet and the Rook. Come get your sports fix. This is the shit you don't want to miss. Fuck. I blanked out.
Leave that.